They all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. Then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think you got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Vikings pick up the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the face mask gets him a free 15 to start the drive.
Let's go. You tighten up.
From the gun, here's Cousins. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Coach is always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting into the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They run, Cook, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Marching back onto the field now, Davante Adams and company getting set to go. He's been good so far to this point in the 2nd quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the 2nd quarter. They'll run it here with Hunt. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. That one a 1st down pickup of 8. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. Rodgers Chargers now on first down. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. 3rd and 2. Throwing, Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
A first down throw for Cousins. This will be caught at about the 5. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. First of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Cousins gives way to Cook. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. To throw, Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
Charles, did I just hear that right? They declined the personal foul. 3 yards, they just declined them.
And I have to think that the official is thinking to himself, did I just hear that correctly, that you declined that one? All I can think of is that someone on the field got confused. Because they had to, because you're going to take the yards on that penalty each and every time.
So we have reached halftime here in what's an 8-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? you adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a first down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
22 yards there, a first down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
On 2nd and 2. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
The quick slant caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
From the 29, Rodgers. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Everson Griffin on the sack, taken to the 4th round back in 2010. What a steal. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double cover. But how about this guy?
Williams loses the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Rashawn Gary able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
And that's the second sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. Give to Cook out of the gun. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Good field position to start the drive after the missed field goal. Here's first down from the 42. To begin the drive, here's a handoff to Hunt. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Still just the third quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on fourth. Now Rodgers. And it is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on fourth. And we've seen them do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
A throw over the middle taken in. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. The Vikings on third down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 6. Throwing is Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. A first down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moved.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Well, they brought the pressure, and that meant man coverage behind him, so he's still able to complete the pass.
Even as he took the hit, and that's what you have to do, because I was just talking with a coach the other day, and he said, look, it's not always going to be pretty back there. You're going to have to give me completions. Even when you're taking some hits, sometimes you have to be your own blitz control, for lack of a better term. Got to make completions, step up, and make those throws, and he did that.
They run again on first down. Cook. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. They're down here in the fourth, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Cousins. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Preston Smith comes in for the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. It's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Rodgers to Allison, good for a Green Bay 1st down. Rodgers now to throw. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
That one good for 26 and a 1st down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
And he'll be taken down at the 33, a pickup of about 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
On 1st down, it's Hunt. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
And able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4. They run. It's Williams. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. There wasn't even thought of a short field goal. There was no hesitation. They were going for it.
I think he was thinking ahead a couple of plays ago, that if he got in this situation, they would...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing, but I'll guarantee you, it's not very good.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 16. Now a run with Cook. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. On 2nd down, Cook. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. Here it's 3rd and 3. They go play action. Cousins. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Za'Darius Smith in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. Here's Ryan Allen now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Let's take it inside his own 40. Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. The left side throw complete to Adams. Touchdown, Packers! Davante Adams, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Packers get a score closer.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
And the Vikings hands team able to recover, and that should just about do it. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here. On 2nd down now, it's Cook. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and I think the game balls need to be distributed on the defensive side of the football, and I bet that you would agree.
Yeah, if you hold a team under 10 points, That's a job well done. Really well done. So I would say game balls for every starter and every key player who participated in this game.
Now, see, I only like one game ball. You're handing out multiple, although I set you up by saying game balls, plural, but I
like where we're going with this. You say one to represent, like the best player of all of that, and I say multiples so that you keep everyone motivated and involved.
You're a man of the people.
I'm a man of the people. I thought I was the only child.
You get a game ball, and you get a game ball. Game balls for everybody. So for the Vikings, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they will fall to 1-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL.